My beloved, my precious soul, why do you feel your chest tightening right now? Because your spirit already knows, this message is not ordinary. Heaven is pressing close to you. The clock is ticking louder in the unseen world. 2 hours are left, and Archangel Michael leans forward with fire in his voice saying, I order you to open this right now. You were not drawn here by accident. Every step you've taken, every tear you've shed, every prayer you've whispered has led you to this exact moment. God is setting up a divine surprise, something that will shake the dust off your heart and remind you that you are never forgotten. But here's the truth, your blessing is time-sensitive. If you skip, you delay what is already yours. If you listen, your entire life can shift before the next sunrise. And listen carefully, the good news is connected to your last action, the very last decision you made. Heaven saw it, weighed it, and has decided to reward you. Archangel Michael is standing by your side, ready to cut through the barriers that kept you waiting. This is why you feel chills, because your name has been spoken in heaven's courts. Before I go further, I must tell you something important. This space is holy, and if you are reading these words, it means you were chosen. You are not here by chance. God is whispering, do not let this slip away again. My child, if you've been searching for a sign, this is it. Stay with me, line by line, because every sentence carries the keys to unlock what's been hidden from you for too long. Now, pause for just a second and think, how many times have you skipped something small only to regret it later? Don't let this be one of those times. This is the moment where heaven's promise and your faith collide. Archangel Michael says, I have been sent to deliver this breakthrough to you, but only if you listen fully. And if your heart is stirred by these words, don't hold back, subscribe now so you never miss the voice of heaven reaching for you. This is your place, your family, your divine connection. Stay anchored here, because your miracles are waiting in every message that follows. My beloved, the angels have been moving in silence, aligning things behind the curtain. The delays, the silence, the unanswered questions, they were never punishment, they were preparation. God was weaving something far greater than you imagined. And in exactly 2 hours, you are going to see the first light of it. All because of your last choice. All because you dared to believe, even when it hurt. This is not just a message. This is a turning point. And as you keep reading, you will feel it, heaven's hand on your shoulder, the Spirit whispering to your soul, this is for you. Don't walk away. My beloved. The very air around you is trembling because what's unfolding is too big to be ignored. You may have thought life was ordinary yesterday, but something shifted in the heavens the moment your name was mentioned. Archangel Michael is not just giving you a message, he's handing you a sealed envelope straight from the throne of God. Inside that envelope is the kind of news that makes tears fall, knees bend, and voices shout with joy. And you know what is written on the outside? Your name. Yes, your name. Written in golden letters, glowing as if heaven itself pressed it into eternity. And Michael says, open this now. Don't wait another second, because the moment you open it, your next season begins. You've carried burdens too heavy, haven't you? You've walked through days where the silence of God felt like punishment. But listen carefully, silence is never rejection, it's preparation. The angels have been gathering every prayer, every word you whispered in the night when nobody was listening. And God, in His mercy, stored them like treasures in jars. Those jars are breaking open right now. The fragrance of your faith is rising before Him, and the answer is being poured down. That is why the next 2 hours are critical. If you accept this word, your life will not look the same when you wake tomorrow. My child, don't you feel it? The pull in your spirit? That strange mix of fear and excitement coursing through your body? That's not anxiety. That's your soul recognizing that breakthrough has come close. Archangel Michael is standing with his sword unsheathed. Chains are rattling. Doors that stayed closed for years are trembling. This is why he said, open it immediately. Because delay means distraction, and distraction means stolen blessing. But obedience, my child, obedience means overflow. Heaven is ready to release what has been long withheld. Now, let me speak to the hidden ache in your heart. You thought nobody saw the tears. You thought no one noticed when you gave even though you lacked, when you forgave though it hurt, when you loved though you were rejected. But God saw it. And heaven recorded it. That last thing you did, the last kindness, the last act of faith, the last prayer whispered in exhaustion, that is the very seed that triggered this harvest. Archangel Michael says, tell them, heaven has remembered. And when heaven remembers, nothing on earth can resist. My beloved child, heaven has been waiting for this hour. 2 hours may sound like a blink, but in the divine, it is eternity compressed into urgency. Archangel Michael is not exaggerating when he says, open this now. Because there are messages in the Spirit that expire if not received, like letters that vanish if not opened in time. God is merciful, but He also moves on holy timings. Right now, the sands of the heavenly clock are falling, and when they strike the end of this window, what is waiting for you may shift to another season. Don't let that happen. You were brought here because you are ready. Ready for the release, ready for the news, ready for the miracle that has been circling your life for years without landing. Tonight, the angel says, it finally lands. There is a secret I need to tell you. The resistance you have faced lately wasn't random. The delays, the betrayals, the closed doors, they were never about destroying you. They were about testing your endurance for what you are about to hold. Think about it. Gold is refined in fire, not comfort. Diamonds are pressed under unbearable weight, not ease. And you, child of light, are being revealed as something precious. God had to let you walk through heat so you'd shine when the curtain lifts. And now Michael is blowing the trumpet in your ear. Good news is already on its way. You are about to hear it with your own ears. Don't you wonder why the word news makes your heart beat faster right now? It's because your spirit already knows. Somewhere in your soul, you have been expecting a shift, a phone call, a letter, a message, something small that carries something huge. That's how heaven works. It plants greatness inside ordinary envelopes. The last step you took in faith, maybe a decision no one else noticed, was recorded. That is why you are about to be rewarded. And Michael says, tell them, it will not come late. They are about to hear it soon. This is not empty talk. This is a decree. There is a secret I need to tell you. The resistance you have faced lately wasn't random. The delays, the betrayals, the closed doors, they were never about destroying you. They were about testing your endurance for what you are about to hold. Think about it. Gold is refined in fire, not comfort. Diamonds are pressed under unbearable weight, not ease. And you, child of light, are being revealed as something precious. God had to let you walk through heat so you'd shine when the curtain lifts. And now Michael is blowing the trumpet in your ear. Good news is already on its way. You are about to hear it with your own ears. Don't you wonder why the word news makes your heart beat faster right now? It's because your spirit already knows. Somewhere in your soul, you have been expecting a shift, a phone call, a letter, a message, something small that carries something huge. That's how heaven works. It plants greatness inside ordinary envelopes. The last step you took in faith, maybe a decision no one else noticed, was recorded. That is why you are about to be rewarded. And Michael says, tell them, it will not come late. They are about to hear it soon. This is not empty talk. This is a decree. Child, listen, you've spent too much time believing blessings are for other people. You've scrolled through their joy, clapped for their victories, and whispered, when will it be my turn? But God is answering that tonight. It is your turn. The stage is shifting. Heaven is calling your name to the front. You are not just going to hear good news, you are going to be the good news for someone else. Your testimony will be the evidence that God is alive, that Archangel Michael still fights, that miracles still happen in the land of the living. My beloved child, there is a trembling in the heavens tonight. Can you feel it? The air is charged because heaven's decree is already signed, sealed, and ready to be delivered into your hands. Michael's voice is not soft in this hour. It is urgent, commanding, burning. He says, do not ignore this. 2 hours remain, and within this time your spirit must align with what God has already written about you. Child, there are books in heaven with your name etched in golden fire. Every detail of your journey, every fall and rise, every wound and healing is written there. Tonight, one of those pages is being turned. The page is titled, Good News. You are about to step into it, and the reason is simple, it's tied to your last faithful act. Think of this, how many times did you obey God even when you were tired? How many times did you forgive when your heart screamed to stay bitter? How many times did you give when your own hands were empty? You thought it was forgotten. You thought nobody noticed. But heaven keeps records, my child. Not one seed you planted has been ignored. And Michael says, the last act of obedience has triggered heaven's response. Now the gates are opening. That's why your heart races as you read this. You're not just hearing words, you're feeling the vibration of truth moving into your reality. Your blessing is closer than your breath. The good news is not coming from far away, it's already circling around you, looking for permission to land. That's why the angel said, "Open this now." Because your agreement with this word is the door it needs. Do not underestimate this moment. Destiny can hang on a yes or no. And I tell you with trembling love, if you say yes, if you receive this, your next chapter begins tonight. Child, heaven is ready to write miracles into your story. But let me warn you gently, distractions will come. Even now, something may try to pull your attention away, your phone, your doubts, your worries. But do not let them steal the seed. Archangel Michael is fighting for your focus, because your focus is the soil where miracles grow. The devil knows if you miss this, you may circle the mountain again for years. But God is merciful, and tonight He bends low, saying, "This is your time. Don't skip it. Don't delay." Do you know why Michael calls you beloved? Because you are not just another human walking on earth, you are heaven's child. Your tears have value. Your prayers carry weight. The sound of your voice shakes angels into motion. You may feel small, but in the spirit you are mighty. That is why good news is tied to you. That is why tonight, the earth is bending to deliver what has been waiting. 2 hours are not a warning of fear, they are a countdown of celebration. The trumpet is about to sound over your life, and when it does, every chain will fall. My child, let me pull back the curtain. Somewhere right now, a conversation is happening with your name in it. Someone is speaking about you, deciding something that affects you. It could be in a boardroom, in a family circle, in a private letter, in a friend's quiet thoughts. You don't see it yet, but heaven does. And heaven is leaning in, whispering in their ears, aligning the words to favor you. That's why the message says, you are going to hear some good news. It's because that conversation has already turned in your favor. My beloved child. When Archangel Michael raises his voice, the heavens respond. Right now, even as you are reading, angels are moving like flames of fire. They are carrying scrolls with your destiny written upon them, delivering instructions to the earth, to people, to circumstances. Nothing is random. Nothing is coincidence. What feels like chance will soon reveal itself as divine orchestration. God has been weaving threads in silence, and now He is about to unveil the tapestry. And in that tapestry, one thread glows brighter than the rest. It is the news you have been waiting for. Good news that heals. Good news that lifts. Good news that transforms your midnight into morning. That is why Michael's words burn with urgency. 2 hours left, open this immediately. Heaven does not cry urgency unless destiny is ripe. My child, think about this moment. You may feel ordinary, sitting where you are, but heaven does not see you as ordinary. In the spiritual realm, your name is radiant. Angels whisper it with reverence because it is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. You are beloved, chosen, marked. The very fact that you are reading this proves you were summoned. Do you realize that? This message is not on every screen, not for every ear. It is targeted, precise, heaven-sent. God said, deliver this only to them. That is why you feel the pull in your heart like a magnet. It is not words, it is destiny recognizing itself. Do you remember the last thing you did in faith? That act you almost forgot about? Maybe you helped someone when you had little. Maybe you prayed when you were exhausted. Maybe you forgave someone who wounded you deeply. That moment did not vanish. Heaven recorded it as a seed. And Archangel Michael declares, that seed is about to bloom into a harvest of news you cannot contain. This is the justice of God. He never lets love go unrewarded, never lets sacrifice go unnoticed. Every hidden act of obedience has been building a wave, and tonight that wave is about to crash over your life in glory. My child, think about this moment. You may feel ordinary, sitting where you are, but heaven does not see you as ordinary. In the spiritual realm, your name is radiant. Angels whisper it with reverence because it is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. You are beloved, chosen, marked. The very fact that you are reading this proves you were summoned. Do you realize that? This message is not on every screen, not for every ear. It is targeted, precise, heaven-sent. God said, deliver this only to them. That is why you feel the pull in your heart like a magnet. It is not words, it is destiny recognizing itself. Do you remember the last thing you did in faith? That act you almost forgot about? Maybe you helped someone when you had little. Maybe you prayed when you were exhausted. Maybe you forgave someone who wounded you deeply. That moment did not vanish. Heaven recorded it as a seed. And Archangel Michael declares, that seed is about to bloom into a harvest of news you cannot contain. This is the justice of God. He never lets love go unrewarded, never lets sacrifice go unnoticed. Every hidden act of obedience has been building a wave, and tonight that wave is about to crash over your life in glory. Beloved, I must tell you this. The resistance you have faced was not a sign of failure. It was proof of value. Thieves do not break into empty houses. The enemy fought you so hard because you carry treasure. Every sleepless night, every unanswered question, every delay was because hell trembled at what is inside you. But God permitted the battle because He knew Michael would step in at the appointed time. And tonight is appointed. That's why you are reading these words with a racing heart. Because your spirit knows, the angel is here. His sword is drawn. And the chains that bound you are rattling their last sound. My child, picture this with me. a door stands in front of you. For years it has been locked. You knocked, you prayed, you tried, but it would not budge. Do you know why? Because the timing wasn't right. If it had opened before, you weren't ready. If it had opened before, the blessing might have crushed you instead of lifted you. But tonight, Archangel Michael presses the key into your hand. He says, "Turn it now. Open it now." And when you do, what lies behind that door will not be small. It will be news that shifts the landscape of your life forever. Beloved soul, listen carefully. Somewhere, even as you breathe, people are speaking about you. They are making decisions, having conversations, arranging plans. You don't hear it yet, but heaven hears it. And heaven has already intervened. Words that would have harmed you are being rewritten. Plans that would have excluded you are being reversed. Someone is about to call your name in favor. Someone is about to mention you in blessing. And when it happens, it will come as news. That's why this message says, you are going to hear good news. Not imagine it, not dream it, not hope it, but hear it with your ears. Now let me whisper what Michael showed me. The news will come suddenly. It will not trickle slowly. It will burst in like light through a window. That is how heaven works. It doesn't crawl, it breaks through. The same way dawn cannot be stopped when the sun decides to rise, your blessing cannot be stopped now that heaven has decided. That's why 2 hours matter. Because heaven is aligning the clock with your obedience. Say yes. Stay here. Read every word. Because with every line, you are stepping closer to the sound of good news breaking. My beloved child, the Spirit of God is hovering close to you in this very moment. Your skin may feel a chill, your heart may pound, your eyes may blur with tears, and this is not random. Heaven is brushing past you, reminding you that you are not forgotten. When Michael says there are 2 hours left, he means this: destiny has entered the room, and your agreement is required. You may not see angels with your physical eyes, but they are circling you right now, guarding, preparing, opening, clearing. And in their hands is the announcement that will change everything for you. Good news is not only promised, it is packaged, sealed, and on its way to your door. My beloved, you may think, why now? Why me? And I tell you, because you endured. You did not quit when quitting would have been easier. You stood when storms beat against you. Others may not know the depth of your battles, but heaven does. Every silent tear you cried became water for the seed of your miracle. That's why Michael says, because of your last act, your harvest has been released. That last prayer, last kindness, last sacrifice, heaven did not ignore it. Instead, it triggered a heavenly order that no power on earth can stop. Do you feel the urgency in your spirit? It is because good news is already in motion. Somewhere, papers are shifting. Somewhere, names are being called. Somewhere, a conversation is being redirected in your favor. And though you can't see it yet, you will hear it. News travels fast in the spirit, and tonight, it is racing toward your ears. The angels are ensuring it cannot be delayed, cannot be stolen. That is why you must stay awake in your heart. Don't let fear whisper lies. Don't let doubt blind your eyes. The miracle is closer than you think. My child, understand this, the timing of God is perfect. You may feel like He is late, but heaven never misses the mark. The waiting season was not punishment, it was alignment. If you had received earlier, it might have broken you. If you had heard this news before, you might not have believed it. But now, your spirit is ready. Your heart is stretched wide enough to carry the blessing. And so the voice of heaven cries, "Open this now, because the moment has arrived." Delay is over. Barrenness is over. Silence is over. The trumpet of good news is sounding in your direction. Beloved, the enemy tried to stop you from reaching this message. He tried to distract you, discourage you, break you. But God laughed. He said, "My child will not be defeated. I will send Michael to guide them back to the path." And so you are here, reading line by line, not by accident but by divine orchestration. Every word is oil for your lamp, keeping your faith burning until the dawn of your miracle breaks. Hold on tightly, for you are standing at the edge of your breakthrough. 2 hours may feel small, but in heaven's calendar it is everything. Do you not sense it? That pull in your soul, the holy trembling in your chest. That is recognition. Your spirit recognizes that what I'm saying is not invention, it is revelation. This is your moment. The good news you are about to hear is not vague, it will be specific, undeniable, impossible to dismiss. It will carry your name, your situation, your destiny. And when it comes, it will not only bless you but also silence your enemies. Those who doubted you will watch as heaven lifts you up. Those who mocked your prayers will see them answered publicly. And your lips will testify, "Surely God has been with me all along." My beloved child, picture the moment you hear it. The message arrives, the call comes, the words are spoken, and suddenly, the years of waiting make sense. Every pain becomes seed. Every delay becomes training. Every night of tears becomes proof that God was preparing you for this exact morning. That's why Michael is urgent. He doesn't want you to sleep through destiny. He doesn't want you to miss what is already at your door. He says, "Open now. Believe now. Receive now." And if you do, the next chapter of your life begins with good news echoing in your ears. My beloved child. Every time you thought you were forgotten, heaven was closer than you realized. God does not sleep, and His angels do not rest until His word is fulfilled. Tonight, Archangel Michael presses this truth into your soul. You are about to hear the good news. Not later, not in a distant season, but now. 2 hours is not a random number, it is a heavenly countdown. Do you understand why you feel urgency rising in you right now? It is because heaven is aligning your spirit to receive what has been stored for you. Doors that resisted you for years are trembling because their locks are breaking. The door to your new season is about to swing wide, and the announcement that will shift your life is already on its way. My child, sometimes miracles don't come the way you expect. You think they will arrive in grand thunder, but often they slip into your life through whispers and small openings. A message on a phone. A conversation you almost missed. A word from someone you didn't expect. That's how God works. He hides greatness in the ordinary so only those with faith can see it. And right now, you are being asked to believe that what looks ordinary will carry extraordinary change. This is why Michael says, do not skip. Do not delay. Because the news is coming like a seed, and if you water it with faith, it will bloom into a tree of blessing. Beloved, let me take you behind the veil. Heaven is not waiting to decide about you, it has already decided. The good news is written. The decree is sealed. The angels are only waiting for your agreement to deliver it. That's the mystery. God honors your will. If you say yes, heaven pours. If you stay distracted, the blessing pauses. That is why the enemy fights your focus so hard. He knows if you receive this, your entire path shifts. But listen to Michael's voice, loud as a trumpet, it is your time. Nothing can stop what God has ordered. The only thing that can delay is if you close your ears. But here you are, reading, listening, leaning in. You have already chosen well. Do not underestimate the power of your last. That last act, the one you thought was small, the one no one else saw, that is the very trigger of this miracle. You see, heaven is not impressed by how loud or big an act looks. Heaven is moved by faith. That last step of obedience may have looked small to men, but to God, it was thunder. And now the echo of that act has reached heaven's throne. Michael says, because of your last, your next is being released. Child, let this truth sink into your heart, you are not being rewarded randomly. You are being rewarded precisely. Your faith has pulled this moment into existence. Beloved, let me take you behind the veil. Heaven is not waiting to decide about you, it has already decided. The good news is written. The decree is sealed. The angels are only waiting for your agreement to deliver it. That's the mystery, God honors your will. If you say yes, heaven pours. If you stay distracted, the blessing pauses. That is why the enemy fights your focus so hard. He knows if you receive this, your entire path shifts. But listen to Michael's voice, loud as a trumpet, it is your time. Nothing can stop what God has ordered. The only thing that can delay is if you close your ears. But here you are, reading, listening, leaning in. You have already chosen well. Do not underestimate the power of your last. That last act, the one you thought was small, the one no one else saw, that is the very trigger of this miracle. You see, Heaven is not impressed by how loud or big an act looks. Heaven is moved by faith. That last step of obedience may have looked small to men, but to God, it was thunder. And now the echo of that act has reached heaven's throne. Michael says, because of your last, your next is being released. Child, let this truth sink into your heart: you are not being rewarded randomly. You are being rewarded precisely. Your faith has pulled this moment into existence. And what is this news that is coming? It is not vague encouragement. It will be something tangible. It will shift your reality. It will prove that God was working all along. It may come through finances, through family, through relationships, through opportunities, but it will come. And when it does, your spirit will leap, because you will know these words were true. That is why Michael urges, open now, believe now, receive now. Heaven is ready to act. The countdown is already ticking, and the sound of good news is about to reach your ears. Beloved child, imagine yourself tomorrow. Picture waking with a lighter heart. Picture holding the letter, hearing the call, reading the message that brings relief to your soul. You will look back at tonight and say, this was the turning point. That's how heaven works. It compresses years of waiting into a single moment of breakthrough. You are standing at the edge of that moment now. Don't step back. Don't doubt. Lean forward with faith, and watch how God transforms your story. Archangel Michael's sword is drawn, and nothing can stand against the order he carries. My beloved child, you must understand this. The battle you have faced was never about your weakness, it was about your promise. Darkness only presses hardest when light is about to break. And that is why the pressure has been so heavy on you in these recent days. The enemy saw what heaven was preparing, and he tried desperately to distract you, to weary you, to make you give up before the trumpet sounded. But you did not quit. You are still here, still reading, still listening. And for that reason alone, heaven has declared, it is time. Michael says, because you endured, the harvest cannot be withheld. The good news has already been released into the air. Child, hear this. No power in hell can cancel what God has signed in your favor. Beloved, sometimes you wonder if your prayers really mattered. Sometimes you thought, I am speaking into empty space. But no, not a single word you ever spoke in faith fell to the ground. The angels gathered them, stored them, and waited for the right time to pour them back into your life. Tonight is that time. Those stored prayers are bursting open, and they are carrying answers with them. The news you are about to hear is not an accident, it is the culmination of every whispered word, every hidden tear, every act of faith you offered in the dark. God wastes nothing. Not even your pain. Especially not your pain. My child, I need you to imagine something. Imagine yourself standing before a locked gate. Behind it is everything you've prayed for: peace, provision, love, restoration. For years you rattled the gate, tried to push it open, begged for it to move, but it stayed sealed. Tonight, Archangel Michael places a golden key in your hand. He says, "Turn it now. The gate will open. And when it does, what pours through will not be small. It will be overwhelming. You will not be able to contain it alone, you will testify, and others will be fed from your overflow." That is the nature of God's news. It blesses you and everyone around you. Beloved child, I know the doubts creep in. You read and you think, is this really for me? But listen closely, if it were not for you, you would not be here. The Spirit does not lead souls by mistake. This message is not on every page, not for every person. It was prepared, delivered, and placed directly in your path. That is why your spirit leapt the moment your eyes met the words, 2 hours left. You felt it, didn't you? That pull, that whisper, that sense that this is not coincidence. That is your confirmation. Heaven is not speaking in riddles. Heaven is speaking directly to you. Child, let me speak to the part of you that feels tired. You think, I have been waiting too long. I don't know if I have strength left. But Michael says, strength is not needed for this last step. Only faith. You don't have to fight harder. You don't have to prove more. You simply have to believe. The angels are doing the heavy lifting. The sword is already cutting chains. The trumpet is already sounding. Your role is to stay in alignment, to hold on, to refuse to walk away now. Do not let go in the final hour, for the dawn is already breaking. And when the good news arrives, child, it will not come with a whisper of doubt. It will be clear, undeniable, and marked with God's fingerprint. It may be a phone call, an unexpected letter, a word spoken in a meeting, or an open door you never saw coming. However it comes, you will know. Your spirit will shout, "This is it. This is what heaven promised." And when it happens, you will remember these words and say, God prepared me for this moment. My beloved child. You may not see it yet, but something has already shifted in the invisible. The ground beneath your spirit is no longer the same. Even now, angels are whispering your name in places you cannot hear. They are speaking it in rooms where decisions are being made. They are guiding hearts, redirecting plans, bending conversations in your favor. And while you sit here, reading these words, your miracle is being arranged. The good news is not far, it is close. Close enough that your soul can already sense it, even if your mind cannot explain it. This is why Michael pressed so strongly, 2 hours left. Open this now. Because your agreement, your faith, is the final key. And when the good news arrives, child, it will not come with a whisper of doubt. It will be clear, undeniable, and marked with God's fingerprint. It may be a phone call, an unexpected letter, a word spoken in a meeting, or an open door you never saw coming. However it comes, you will know. Your spirit will shout, "This is it. This is what heaven promised." And when it happens, you will remember these words and say, God prepared me for this moment. My beloved child. You may not see it yet, but something has already shifted in the invisible. The ground beneath your spirit is no longer the same. Even now, angels are whispering your name in places you cannot hear. They are speaking it in rooms where decisions are being made. They are guiding hearts, redirecting plans, bending conversations in your favor. And while you sit here, reading these words, your miracle is being arranged. The good news is not far, it is close. Close enough that your soul can already sense it, even if your mind cannot explain it. This is why Michael pressed so strongly, 2 hours left. Open this now. Because your agreement, your faith, is the final key. Beloved, your journey has not been easy. You have carried burdens that would have crushed another. You have faced storms that should have drowned you. Yet here you are. Still breathing. Still believing. Still waiting. Do you realize what that means? It means your spirit is stronger than you know. It means heaven has been carrying you when your own strength failed. And tonight, heaven is not just carrying you, it is lifting you into a new season. That season is called Good News. You will not only hear it, you will walk in it. It will surround you like light, breaking every shadow that tried to cling to you. My child, think of the last midnight you endured. The night you thought would never end. The prayers you prayed with weary lips. The tears that soaked your pillow. Heaven was listening then. God collected every drop. And tonight, He turns them into a river of joy. Michael declares, the last pain you endured was the seed for the first joy you will soon hear. You see, nothing is wasted in God's kingdom. Even your suffering has been transformed into power. And now, that power is becoming the sound of news that will shake you with gratitude. Beloved, there is something I must tell you. The news will not only bless you, it will correct the lies spoken against you. There are those who doubted your prayers, those who whispered you would not rise, those who thought your story was finished. But when this news arrives, it will silence them. Not with anger, but with proof. Proof that God has been with you. Proof that your name is still written in His palm. Proof that your destiny cannot be stolen. And as they watch, they will see you shine with a light they cannot deny. This is why Michael urges you not to delay. Because heaven is ready to vindicate you publicly. Child of light, your next hours are not ordinary hours. They are pregnant with destiny. Every second carries weight. Every breath is aligned with heaven's rhythm. Do not take them lightly. Keep your spirit awake. Stay expectant. Because any moment now, the news will break through. It will be like the sudden strike of lightning across a dark sky. Unexpected. Brilliant. Unstoppable. That is how heaven moves when the appointed hour comes. And Michael says, that hour has come. My beloved, imagine what it will feel like when the words reach your ears. You may hear them through a call, through a message, through the lips of someone standing before you. However they come, they will pierce through the fog of waiting and make you see clearly. In that instant, your heart will know. You will whisper, "This is it. This is the answer. This is the good news heaven promised me." And when you say that, joy will flood your chest. Tears will fall, not of sorrow, but of relief. And you will lift your hands and give glory to the one who never left you, even in silence. My beloved child, you must know that heaven's silence was never abandonment. When God hides his face, it is not because he has left you, it is because he is preparing a revelation that words cannot yet explain. Tonight, Archangel Michael is tearing the veil, showing you what has been hidden. He says, 2 hours left. My beloved, this is not a warning of fear but a signal of fulfillment. Imagine a pregnant woman, who for months carries her child unseen. She waits through the aches, the discomfort, the uncertainty. And then, suddenly, the hour of delivery comes. That is where you are right now, the hour of delivery. And what is being born is good news. You are about to hear it with your own ears, and it will make every season of waiting worth it. Beloved, do you remember how many times you almost gave up? You said, "Maybe this is not for me. Maybe I should settle. Maybe I should stop expecting." But something inside you refused to die. That flame was not your own strength, it was God's Spirit within you. He would not let you quit. He would not let you bury your hope. And now you see why. Because the very thing you thought was impossible is about to arrive as news. Heaven delights in doing what man calls impossible. That is why this moment feels so weighty. Because impossibility is bending into possibility, and your ears will be the first to hear it. Child, let me tell you how heaven sees you. You are not the weary soul you imagine. In heaven's eyes, you are radiant. Your faith shines brighter than gold. Your prayers echo like music. Your endurance is a crown on your head. This is why Archangel Michael calls you beloved, because in heaven's courts, you are cherished. And when you are cherished, God does not ignore you. He orchestrates miracles for you. He writes news with your name on it. He aligns time so that 2 hours can change a lifetime. This is what is happening now. Do not let doubt rob you of this certainty. You are chosen for this moment. My child, understand this truth. Good news is not simply information, it is transformation. When heaven says you will hear good news, it does not mean you will simply smile for a moment. It means your life will be restructured. Pain will give way to peace. Lack will give way to provision. Loneliness will give way to love. What was broken will begin to mend. That is the nature of God's announcements. They do not just inform, they reform. That is why Michael is so urgent. He knows this is not just about hearing words. This is about stepping into a reality you have prayed for but never thought you would see. Child, let me tell you how heaven sees you. You are not the weary soul you imagine. In heaven's eyes, you are radiant. Your faith shines brighter than gold. Your prayers echo like music. Your endurance is a crown on your head. This is why Archangel Michael calls you beloved, because in heaven's courts, you are cherished. And when you are cherished, God does not ignore you. He orchestrates miracles for you. He writes news with your name on it. He aligns time so that 2 hours can change a lifetime. This is what is happening now. Do not let doubt rob you of this certainty. You are chosen for this moment. My child, understand this truth. Good news is not simply information, it is transformation. When heaven says you will hear good news, it does not mean you will simply smile for a moment. It means your life will be restructured. Pain will give way to peace. Lack will give way to provision. Loneliness will give way to love. What was broken will begin to mend. That is the nature of God's announcements. They do not just inform, they reform. That is why Michael is so urgent. He knows this is not just about hearing words. This is about stepping into a reality you have prayed for but never thought you would see. Beloved soul, there is also vindication in the news coming. You may not admit it, but part of you has longed for proof, for God to show those who doubted you that you were not wrong to believe. Heaven has heard that longing. And soon, the news will arrive in such a way that it will silence every whisper against you. Not because you sought revenge, but because God delights in showing His faithfulness to His children. When the good news breaks, those who laughed will fall silent. Those who mocked will wonder. And those who secretly hoped you would fail will watch you rise. This is not arrogance, it is God's justice. My child, lean closer. The angel showed me this. There is a sound waiting to be heard. It is the sound of your name being spoken with favor. It is the sound of doors unlocking. It is the sound of laughter after tears. And within the next 2 hours, that sound will find its way to you. Be alert. Be ready. Do not dismiss small moments, for they may carry large answers. Do not ignore ordinary conversations, for they may hide extraordinary breakthroughs. Stay awake in spirit, because the hour is ripe and the trumpet is already in Michael's hand. My beloved, do you realize the significance of this hour? Every moment of your past, every tear, every prayer, every disappointment, has been leading here. This is the kind of divine appointment that cannot be manufactured by human effort. God Himself has scheduled it. The heavens have written your name on this date, at this hour, and Michael's voice carries the urgency of eternity. 2 hours left, open this now. What you are about to step into is not just a blessing, it is a reversal, a restoration, a redirection. News is coming that will untangle the knots of confusion in your life. News that will set your feet on a path you once thought was closed forever. Child, think of how many times you said, "I cannot go on." Yet something you could not explain, pushed you forward. That something was someone, the Spirit of the living God. He would not allow you to stop because he knew what was waiting ahead. You see, your life is not random. Your struggles have not been wasted. The very battles you thought would destroy you have become the training ground that prepared you for this news. And because you endured, you are ready. Ready to hear it, ready to receive it, ready to live in it. That's why Michael's sword is drawn. He is clearing the last obstacles from your path so the announcement can reach you without delay. Beloved, let me reveal what the enemy never wanted you to know. He feared this moment. Every attack on your peace, every lie whispered into your mind, every delay was a desperate attempt to keep you from this hour. Because he knew, once you hear the good news heaven has prepared, you will never be the same. You will rise with confidence. You will walk with authority. You will live with joy that cannot be shaken. That is why Michael shouts with such force, do not ignore this. Because your transformation hinges on what is about to be released. My child, picture this, a messenger running with a letter in his hand. That letter carries your name. It carries the words you have waited years to hear. He runs swiftly, but he cannot deliver it until you are ready to receive it. This message is preparing you to be ready. By reading, by leaning in, by believing, you are opening the door for that letter to finally be placed into your hands. And when it arrives, it will not be vague. It will not be confusing. It will be clear, undeniable, marked with God's signature. And your heart will leap, because you will know beyond doubt, this is the good news Michael promised. Beloved, don't you feel the atmosphere shifting as you read? The hairs on your arms rising, the fire in your chest stirring? That is your spirit resonating with truth. You cannot fake that. It is the Spirit of God confirming, yes, this is for you. Do not argue with it. Do not dismiss it. Receive it. Because your agreement is the final seal that opens the heavens fully. If you say yes, the floodgates will pour. If you doubt, the flow may slow. That is why Michael is urgent, because heaven wants you drenched, not dripped. This is not a sprinkle of blessing. This is a downpour. Child, understand this, good news is contagious. When you receive it, it will not stop with you. Others will be blessed through your testimony. Your family, your friends, even strangers will witness the glow of God's favor on you. And they will be drawn to it. That's why the enemy tried to silence you, because your rising means many will rise. But he failed. He could not silence you. And now your testimony will be the proof that God still moves, still speaks, still delivers. You will be the evidence. Your life will be the sermon. And all of it begins with the announcement that is about to reach your ears. My beloved, there is a mystery in how heaven works. God rarely announces His timing until the very moment before the breakthrough. That is why so much of your journey has felt uncertain. You prayed, you waited, and still the silence stretched. But silence is not absence. Silence is strategy. Heaven was aligning things you could not see. If the answer had come sooner, it would not have been complete. If the blessing had arrived earlier, it might have slipped away. But tonight, Archangel Michael leans close and says, "The time is now. 2 hours left, open quickly, because what has been hidden is about to be revealed. That hidden thing is good news, and it is racing toward you faster than your doubts can stop it."